All right, welcome back to Show Up and Play, the Black Mambas podcast. I'm your host, and as always, this show is created and produced by H.N. Newman. You know him, you love him, the senior AI engineer. A&D, a soccer dad up here in
A
Canada.
soccer dad. That's great.
So before we jump into things today, we just want to remind everyone, please like and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, definitely helps us out.
All right, so today we are diving into a game that honestly was about way more than just hockey. I'm talking about the Canada-USA final at the Four Nations face-off.
Oh, yeah.
It was a total nail-biter, went into overtime,
Mm-hmm.
and there was this, crazy political tension just bubbling under the surface.
You know, what's so interesting about this game to me is that it really became like this mini version of the entire Canada-US relationship.
Oh, for sure. The atmosphere in that Boston arena was electric.
Oh, yeah.
Canadian fans decked out in red and white, Americans right back at them, stars and stripes everywhere.
Oh, I bet.
You could just feel that national pride,
Yeah.
It was intense.
It wasn't just friendly rivalry, though, was it? Remember what was going on in the political world at that time?
Oh, yeah, things were heated.
We had President Trump making those kind of provocative comments, about maybe even annexing Canada. And then there were all those trade wars and tariffs going on.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So this hockey game, it kind of became a symbolic battleground for all that tension.
Absolutely. And the game itself, man, what a roller coaster. McKinnon scores first for Canada. We're feeling good, right?
Yeah.
And then, boom, the U.S. takes the lead. It felt like it was slipping away.
Oh, no.
And then, bam, Bennett ties it up late in the game. We're going to overtime. I thought my heart was going to explode.
Talk about a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
And then that overtime goal by McDavid,
Oh, man.
pure skill, obviously, but
Mm.
you could just feel the weight of that moment. It was like that goal was releasing all this pent-up frustration and national pride all at once.
We always talk about the unifying power of sport, and I think we really saw that here. Even with all the political stuff going on, both teams played with so much intensity and passion, but there was also respect. Remember when Crosby talked about how the two teams left it all on the ice? But at the end of the day, there's respect.
Yeah, that's the beauty of sport, isn't it? It can be this incredible outlet for competitive spirit, national pride, all that, but it can also create this mutual respect, this understanding even between rivals.
It's like that quote, right? It's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. Okay, maybe not totally relevant in a championship final, but you get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of winning, if you're enjoying this deep dive and want to help us keep making this kind of content, consider making a donation. Even a little bit helps us keep the show going strong, and most importantly, free for everyone. Donation links are in the show notes.
It's funny you mentioned that. What about Prime Minister Trudeau's comment after the game when he joked about Canada ruling the ice, which was obviously a playful jab at the U.S.?
Oh, totally.
But it also kind of shows how sports can be used to, navigate these tricky political relationships.
Oh, yeah.
It's a way of acknowledging the tension, but still celebrating the shared love of the game.
Exactly. It's like saying, yeah, we might disagree on some things, but we can still come together and appreciate this incredible display of athleticism and sportsmanship. And it makes you think, have you ever been to a sporting event where it felt like it was about more than just the game, where sport just transcended all these differences and brought people together? I bet a lot of us have.
At the end of the day, that's what makes this game so interesting to talk about. Yeah, it was a thrilling hockey game, but it also gives us a little glimpse into how sports can be this powerful force for unity, resilience, and even political commentary all roll into one.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And it really leaves us with something to think about. If a hockey game, even just for a couple of hours, can bridge this political divide, what other things, what other shared passions could do the same thing and bring nations closer? Something to ponder, folks. And that is a wrap for this episode. Thanks for joining us on Show Up and Play, the Black Mambas podcast.
See you next time.